Hi, I'm Shelley Wood, and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this peppermint candy dress, which is designed to fit Monster High dolls, Ever After High dolls, and many other dolls with similar body measurements. Before we begin, please go to shelleywood.com to download and print this free PDF sewing pattern. Use the pattern to cut out all the pieces shown here. Set one of the dress's backs on top of another back, keeping what we call right sides facing. So that means the pretty side of the fabric touches the pretty side of the fabric on the other piece. Sew the neckline and down the back closure area. Here's a close look at the neckline so you get a feel for what I mean, and you'll want to stop sewing at the bottom of the garment. Carefully clip this seam with scissors like you see me doing here. Follow these same directions for both backs and then invert each of the backs. Now, I like to use a chopstick to help with inverting. It can get in those tight corners like you see there. Set one front on top of another front, again keeping those right sides facing one another. So you want the pretty side of the fabric to touch the pretty side if it matters. Sew a C shape around the neckline. Here's another close up. It kind of helps. Carefully clip this neckline seam, just like you see me doing here. Invert the front. So you want to flip it around so you're looking at the bright side of fabric. Press all the seams you've created so far. Set one back on top of the garment's front piece. Sew these together at the shoulder. I'm using a back stitch for this, but you could use a sewing machine. Set the other back on top of the front piece and stitch across this shoulder area too. Here's a close-up of that shoulder. Flatten the garment out like this briefly and press the shoulder seams. You want to open those seams up. Flip the whole garment over so you're looking at the right side or the bright side with no seams. Set one of the sleeves over the underarm curve. Stitch from the underarm to just shy of the shoulder seam. Knot your thread and clip it. Wind the sleeve around to connect to the other side. So you're going to wind it around to the other underarm area right there. And then sew from this underarm to again just shy of the shoulder seam. Knot your thread and clip it. You should now have a gap at the shoulder. You can see my tip of my finger poking through. If the sleeve gap exactly matches the shoulder gap, finish stitching the sleeve to the dress. You can see right there that it did fit. But if the sleeves gap is a wee bit larger, and this can happen sometimes, just put a few tiny gathers in the sleeve and then attach it to the dress. Note the two sets of stitches where this was done. With teeny tiny doll clothes, like when we're making clothes for Monster High, this problem arises pretty frequently. Now fold the sleeve's raw edge once and then a second time. And with that second fold, you want to hide your first stitches under the sleeve's fold. Whip stitch along this double fold edge, tucking the stitches under the fabric as you go. And here you'll see me doing that. I pause and retuck so that I have hidden stitches underneath the fabric. What we're creating here are called cap sleeves, but it may actually remind you of bias tape. Please follow these directions for both sleeves. It can be tricky to hide your original stitches, but give it your best shot. It ends up looking very nice if you can pull it off. Fold the back against the front like you see here, keeping right sides together. Sew from under the arm down the side to finish your seam at the garment's edge. Follow the same directions for the other back. Once you've sewn both side seams, invert this garment. That's what I'm doing here. It's really cute, and you start to see the look of a cap sleeve right here. Isn't that cute? On the ruffle's long side, now we're working with the skirt, you're going to fold the fabric once and then a second time to fold that hem. So again, this is the skirting. We fold once and then a second time on the long side of the skirting. You can whip stitch this hem, or you could use a sewing machine. I used my sewing machine for this particular hem. Now gather the unhemmed long side of the skirt, but leave a small, like a 1.5 centimeter area free of gathers on both sides of the skirt. You'll want this ungathered edge to hang over the sides of the dress when you pin the skirt to the dress. So I don't tie off my gathers until I pin. And you're going to pin it to the bottom of the dress with right sides facing. Sew the gathered skirt to the bottom of the dress. When you attach the skirt, it's very important that you stitch outside that gathered line. Take a look at my image and you'll see what I mean. Flip the skirt down on the raw edge side of the dress. Fold the skirt's overhanging fabric once and then a second time, and you're again folding a sort of side hem here. Stitch this hem by hand or on a sewing machine. Follow these directions on both sides of the skirting. And now your dress should look like this. Add a few snaps all the way down the back, clear down to the skirt, and now you're ready to try it on your doll. Oh, this turned out so cute. I just really love it. For more free printable sewing patterns, for making doll clothes that will fit dolls of many shapes and all different sizes, please remember to visit my website, shelleywood.com. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos and my free patterns, please share them on social media. It actually helps my website grow when you help spread the word.